Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In this one, as I'm sure you've read by the title, I'm doing another ranking slash tier list, and this time I'm doing it with the Season 2 Bladers. Now, again, just like my last one, this is one that I have created on my own account at tierlistmaker.com. So if you disagree with me or want to rank them yourselves, go over to my account at I forgot what my account's called, so I'll show a picture of it on screen. But yeah, go over to my account, go over to this and rank it yourself and tell me in the comments who you think is the strongest. So obviously I haven't chosen to put every single blader that appears because especially in season 2 there are so many. But I've put the main ones with a couple of extras thrown in there. I don't think I've forgotten anybody, and if I have, they're not really that important. And my biggest issue personally is the fact that half of them have their heads missing, but with uploading pictures to the site, they have to be the right size, and I can't be bothered to do that, so you can tell who they are anyway. So without further ado, let's just get right into this. And of course, this is ranking on the season 2 bladers, so obviously the strongest will go at the top, furthest to the left. Now, starting off this list, we have Zander. Now, at the end of season 1, Zander was like second class blader, or like in this, it would be an S tier. And me personally, I think he still is an S tier blader. He definitely maintained a lot of his strength. I mean, he became a part of the Big Five during the Evolution series. He was ranked 4th in between Josh and Red Woo, so he's definitely an S tier blader. Him with Siege Excalibur, I'll have pictures of all of them on screen just like last video. Definitely S tier. Yeah, although he was getting thrown around a lot towards the end of the season, by Louis, by Volt, by Silas, those are all bladers that, are really powerful in their own right. So Zander and Siege Excalibur, definitely S tier blader in my mind. Next up is Daigo. Now, Daigo, I think in my last one, I put him as like a B tier or an A tier blader. And in this series, I love what they do with him. They made him so powerful, like not overly powerful, but really resourceful with how he used his moves. So I believe his last fight of the series and his biggest one was against Josh, and he nearly won it. In all fairness, like Josh actually had to try in that fight to defeat Daigo at the end, and he did. Josh did beat Daigo, but the fact that Josh was pushing Daigo to, the fact that Daigo was pushing Josh to try in their fight, and at the time Josh was the 3rd ranked in the world, does say a lot about how powerful Daigo got. Of course, I forgot to mention his bay. I believe it was Death Doomsizer or Death Scyther. It's Death Scyther. I can't remember if there's anything else to it, but of course I have a picture of it on screen. He's definitely either A or S. Personally, he went up against Josh. I think it was around episode 30, episode 31. And obviously, Josh did have battles after that point and did get a little bit more powerful. So I don't know whether to rank him in A or B. I don't see him facing. Well, actually, I'm going to put him in A for now. Because the fact that he made Josh try says to me that he could very easily take on Renwu and have a decent chance. So I'm going to leave him in A for now. And if I feel like I need to, move him down to B. But speak of the devil, we have Josh, and obviously his bay, Blast Genius. Now, he was a blader that he replaced Zack in Evolution, and whether you love that or you hate it, he definitely was just as powerful as Zack, obviously for the own respected series. Definitely S tier, above Zander, although it wasn't a fight that was shown, like it brushed past it, but Zander did actually beat Josh in a fight, in a battle, sorry. It glossed over it. It was like one of those like glossing over fights just to get to the next point, but he did beat Josh. So I am going to put him below Zander. In fact, no, actually, because I'm taking every blader at their maximum power, at their absolute peak. And I personally do believe that Josh's peak was still above Xander's. As A, he was third, and B, as you saw when he was defeated by Silas and Volt, what's his face? They got Raul, that was it. He did say that, his time as, a world-class player had come to an end, which is why Xander beat him. But everyone at their peak, I don't believe Xander would have beaten Josh. At least, not easily anyway. Next up is Headless Wakia. And obviously he had Tempest or Tornado Wyvern. He was like one of the best. He was like in the top 5 or 6 in my season 1 tier list, and in this series he definitely isn't. He's quite low down. He helped train with Silas to defeat Josh, so that tells me that he definitely had some good strategy. But in terms of actual power, he got beat by Volt and Rantoro in the first 10 episodes. So I'm gonna have to put him in C tier for now, just because I don't think he did anything more eventful after that point. Like after episode 10, he was just not there anymore. So I'm gonna move on to Kuza, and obviously he had Alter Cogni or Alter Chronos, however you want to say it. His last fight of the series was against Kurt, and which he ended up winning. So that definitely means he's above B tier and is an A or S for me anyway. I think he was going toe to toe with Volt, but lost against Volt. So he was obviously, I'd say he was probably like 95% or maybe even 90% of Volt's power. But that was when Volt had stock Genesis Valkyrie X, so no Strike God chip and no Ultimate Reboot driver. So I definitely don't see him standing up against Xander or Josh. I do think he will beat Daigo. I don't think that fight will be easy for him, but I do think he would beat Daigo. Yeah, I'm happy with that placement there. Next up is Norman, and what was his bay? Twin Nemesis or Noctimus, whatever. Right. So with this guy, it's a little bit awkward because you have to kind of scale him off other bladers. So he obviously lost against Shu or Red Eye, whatever, but he beat Boa, and Boa beat Renwu's son. So he's clearly, and obviously Boa beat Kuza. So he's obviously above Kuza in terms of power. But whether he's on the same level as Josh and Xander is up for debate. I definitely think the gap between him and Kuza is bigger than the gap between him and Xander is. But I don't think he is in that league, personally. I'm going to leave him there for now, and I might change it around later. So next up is Renwu's son and his amazing bay, Shelter Regulus. His bay in real life is obviously trash, but I don't have it personally, so I can't say anything on it. But in the anime, he was 5th ranked in the world, and then he just got knocked around by everyone. So, let's see. He was beaten by Boa. Norman was stronger than Boa, so he's obviously below Norman. I still definitely think he's better than Kuza. I think Kuza's a strong blader, but I really don't think he's like as soon as I think he's like he's either high, really high B or low A. I don't see him standing up against Renwu Sun in a one-on-one, if I'm honest. Daigo, yeah, I see him beating Daigo, but not Renwu, so I'm gonna leave those guys there. Next up, I have no I've completely forgotten this guy's name. I'll throw it up on screen. I know his Beyblade. It's Deep Chaos or Deep Chaos. Obviously, that stamina type Beyblade with the bearing driver. I've completely forgotten his name. But I believe his last battle was against Norman, which he obviously lost. But before that, he was going up against bladers like Daigo and Kuza, and sort of giving them issues. But honestly, I really don't see, like, Daigo was giving Josh like trouble. Like, Josh actually had to try against Daigo. I don't see the vampire dude giving that same sort of struggle. Excuse me. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. He might be A, but I personally don't feel that he's on the same level as these guys were at their peaks. Like, I definitely don't see him facing off against Kurt or Renwu, for example, so I'm going to leave him in B tier. And next up is Boa. Now, Boa is like an easy one for me to rank anyway. Obviously, his bay was, what was it? Arc Bolkesh, or Arc Buhamut. And he's an easy A tier blader. He obviously beat Renwu, but wasn't as strong as Norman, as seen by the battle where Norman won. So he's easy to rank in A for me. He lost against Volt as well, but he was decent against Volt, but obviously he just wasn't quite there. He was definitely a strong blader, but obviously I think Norman and Boa could both give Zander a run for his money, but I think all of them at their peaks, Zander would get the edge more times out of 10 than these two would. So I'm going to leave them there, and the next guy is Kurt. Now, Kurt, obviously, his bay was Beat Kukulkan, and he's such a pain to rank in my mind, because he went up against Kuza, and Kuza won, but and then he went up against, obviously this isn't in order, but he went up against Volt, won the first time, lost the second time. He lost against Kuza. He got a couple points against Shu, and he beat he beat a certain someone else. It might have been Boa, or it might have been one of these guys, but he beat somebody. And I definitely think he's an S tier blader. I definitely think he could be Norman. I honestly, his last battle against Kuza, where Kuza got the burst finish on him, I honestly think that was just pure luck. I definitely don't think that Kuza should have gotten that. But the fact that he did does kind of prove to me that he is an A tier blader, because he would have had to have some, like, good power to get that burst finish on him. So I'm going to put him in S. I am going to put him behind Zander. I personally think he could beat both Zander and Josh, but I don't think he would get it more consistently, because he did lose to Kuza, and I don't see Zander or Josh losing to Kuza. So I'm going to move on to the next blader, and that's Silas. Silas is one of my favourite evolution characters. Obviously, his bay, Kinetic Satoon. Obviously, he beat Josh, and he beat Zander. So he's definitely S tier. He's definitely above all of these guys. Yeah, there's not much to really say about him, actually. his last battle was against Josh, I think, and he beat him. He lost against Louis, but obviously we'll talk about him later. He beat Zander. I think he could beat Kurt. I definitely think that, yeah, I do see him beating Kurt, considering he stood up to Josh and Zander so well. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave Silas at top of S tier because yeah, I definitely think he could dominate anyone in A tier, and everyone in S would obviously give each other struggles. So I'm gonna leave them as they are. And the next one is, I forgot his name as well. I know his Beyblade is Maximum Garuda. I don't know his name. The kickboxing guy, Maximum Garuda. Obviously he was like episode 20, episode 25, something like that. I don't know. He got easily like he was easily kicked out of the series as quickly as he was introduced. So I definitely think he's like C or B tier. Um, considering the vampire guy, I don't forgot his name, was was um battling bladers like Kuza and Daigo for a lot of the series. I don't see the kickboxing guy doing the same. Although he did match up against Volt. Volt quickly just shot up. I do think he would be Wakia and Wyvron, but I don't see him winning against the vampire guy. So I'm gonna move on, and the next one is Rickson. Rickson. I included Rickson because he is a kind of a strong blader. I know he has a random Beyblade. I believe the combo was Jumbo Jaw Mentor Jerk Unite. I'll have a picture of it on screen. And obviously he was on the BC Soul team, which means he was, you know, the fifth strongest on that team. I definitely think he was the fifth or the weakest member on that team. But he still had decent power in his own right. So he's definitely not a B tier. I don't think he would beat the vampire guy. These two are debatable. I don't know. I'm gonna put him. Obviously, he was strong enough to be on the team, which does give him a lot of credit. But he didn't. He wasn't in obviously the end tournament to decide the strongest blader, and he also wasn't in a lot of the battles for the team play either. So I believe he definitely was the weakest member of BC Soul, and I'm gonna put him there at the bottom of C tier. I don't know, that could be a mistake. It probably is. Thing is that these two people were easily overtaken, but I'm gonna put him above Wakia because Wakia was like nothing after episode 10, but this guy was throwing punches like episode 25 or 20, so I think he's around that point. I'm just gonna move on to another character that I still can't remember the name of. I've got to start remembering the names. Claire. I don't know. I don't know. I believe her bay was Giant Gaia. I know it was Giant Gaia something. Maybe Giant Gaia Knuckle Zapper? I don't know. I know it was a Giant Gaia random bay. She was definitely weaker than Rickson, obviously. And I don't think she was definitely weaker than Rickson. Obviously, she didn't make the team. I think she might have gotten the better of Wakia, in all honesty. For the same reason that Rickson's above Wakia, he got tossed around at episode 10. So, I mean, not even that, it was like episode 5. So I'm definitely going to put her above him, considering she was throwing punches around episode, like, 35, 40. So, that's my reasoning for those. Finally, an actual good blader, free and obviously drained Fafnir is instantly an S tier blader. He was, if you remember, he was ranked 1 in the world for the whole series, except for like episode 48 or 49, where Volt got the win because he forfeited, or the red-haired woman made him forfeit. I forgot her name as well. But yeah, he forfeited the match, but he didn't lose and he didn't win. So yeah, he's definitely SS tier. Rantaro, he's definitely, I think he's B tier, above the vampire guy. I definitely don't see him fighting anybody on A. Like, I think everybody on A would just completely dominate these guys. I definitely see Rantaro beating these guys quite easily, especially these three. This guy's the only guy that I think maybe, but I do think Rantaro could get the win more consistently. And with this guy, I don't. No, okay, yeah, maybe, yeah. I will swap round those 2 rounds. I do think that he would win against him more often than not. So next up is Louis. Louis is straight. Oh, he's definitely an SS, and the reason I put that is because he easily beat Silas. I think the score was 2-0. So that definitely tells me that he's definitely on a whole nother league to Silas. Obviously Free beat him, so he's got to be behind Free. But obviously, Nightmare Luminor, definitely a powerful bay. Even in real life, he's amazing. But yeah, definitely behind Free and Fafnir. Second to last, Shu, or Red Eye. Obviously, he started off the series with Legend Spriggan, or Spriggan. And then it turned into Spriggan Requiem. Obviously, he destroyed Luminor and defeated Louis in their match. But he never fought Free. With Spriggan Requiem, anyway. See, this can either go 2 ways. Obviously, these guys are either equal to or Shu is more powerful. There's no debate about him being weaker. So you have to debate with these guys, in all honesty. I don't know. I don't know about these two. I'm gonna move on to Volt, the last blader, anyway, and he's obviously above Louis as well. But again, these 3 are the hardest 3 to rank because obviously Free and Volt were a dead match for each other. Neither of them could get the point, and Volt only won because Free forfeited. And then obviously Shu and Volt went up against each other, and Volt beat Shu, but that doesn't mean. Right, okay, so yeah, Volt's definitely the top ranked blader. He's definitely top ranked. Even if you do say that that Shu was equal to Free, Volt beat Shu, which means he, in terms of like power and all that, he would get the better of Free as well. You could make the argument that obviously just because you can beat one person doesn't mean you can beat the other. I do see that, but for this ranking and tier list, we've got to simplify it a bit, and we have just got to say that Volt is the most powerful. These 2 are the hardest to rank in my mind, Shu and Free. I'm gonna put Shu second, purely because obviously his bay is so much more versatile than Free's. even though in the actual anime that doesn't really equate to much, because, you know, like, Luminor is the complete counter to Fafnir. He's a left spinning attack type, so he can't drain spin, and he deals extra damage. Yet Free just dominated Louis. So yeah, I'm happy with this where everyone is right now. I don't see why I needed that E tier. I thought I did, but I guess not. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video here, or this ranking here. Like I said, if you disagree with me, go over to my account and make your own, or comment in the comment section and tell what you think. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll definitely be doing the Chosi series soon, so yeah, look forward to that one, guys. Bye bye.